You feel it, don't you? That buzz, that anticipation leading up to Pi2Day. For years, we've been tapping, we've been waiting, we've been holding on to this vision of what Pi Network could be. And every June 28th, we brace ourselves for the big reveal. This year was supposed to be different. This year, the whispers were getting louder. Mainnet migration, exchange listings, real utility. The hype was almost palpable. The Pi Core team rolled out their much-touted updates aiming to grow the ecosystem. But instead of celebration, instead of fireworks, what we got was something entirely unexpected. Something that left the most dedicated pioneers utterly disappointed, and frankly, a lot of us are asking what exactly is going on here. Today, we're dissecting the Pi2Day announcements. We're going beyond the official press releases and diving deep into the community's raw, frustrated reactions. Because what they announced, while sounding innovative on the surface, just might be a massive miss for what we actually need. So, let's break down what the Pi Core team did announce on Pi2Day 2025. They highlighted two major updates intended to show progress. The first one, and they positioned this as a really big deal, is called Pi App Studio. Now, according to the core team, this is an AI-powered platform designed to let anyone build Pi apps. And get this, even if you have no coding experience. Sounds revolutionary, right? They said it was engineered to tackle, global challenges by fusing blockchain and AI, giving developers and users a chance to create applications that could really make a difference. Here's the exact quote from their social media post. Happy Pi2Day 2025. Today, Pi has introduced two exciting features to the ecosystem and provided various tech and product updates. First, Pi App Studio is an AI-powered platform that enables anyone to create Pi apps without coding, created to solve problems the world faces as AI. On the surface, if you're a casual observer, you might think, wow, that's pretty cool. Imagine a world where anyone can just think of an app idea, use AI to build it, and integrate it with the Pi blockchain. It sounds like a leap forward for decentralization and mass adoption. Then, they unveiled the second big feature, ecosystem directory staking. This new tool is supposed to allow us, the pioneers and businesses within the Pi network, to stake our Pi coins directly on the Mainnet blockchain. What's the purpose? By staking, you can apparently help boost the ranking of your favorite apps within the ecosystem interface. The idea here is to incentivize quality app development and theoretically drive more activity within the Pi network. More staking, better visibility for quality apps, more engagement. Seems logical, right? Beyond these two headline acts, they also listed a few other technical updates. We're talking about a new node version update aimed at improving stability for those running Pi nodes. Crucial, I'll admit. They mentioned adding a third-party on-ramp aggregator, which should make it easier to bring funds into the ecosystem. And we saw the extension of the .pi domains auction plus some upgrades to the Mainnet migration process itself. They encouraged everyone to check these changes out directly in the Pi mining app, and even invited us to join a Pi2Day ecosystem challenge to earn digital prizes by exploring the new features. So, you've got AI-powered app building staking to promote apps node stability, easier on-ramps, and migration process tweaks. All sounds like steady progress, doesn't it? Like the gears are finally turning and the Pi machine is, at last, rumbling to life. But then, the community reacted. And that's where the story takes a sharp, suspenseful turn. Despite all these announcements, despite the marketing spin, the reality on the ground was a stark contrast. The feedback from the community? It wasn't just meh. It was outright frustration. It was disappointment. It was, for many, the final straw. Let me tell you, when these announcements dropped, my phone started buzzing. My DMs lit up. And it wasn't with excitement. It was with a collective sigh of exasperation. Why? Because the core issues, the elephant in the room that has plagued Pi Network for years, remained completely unaddressed. We saw prominent crypto analysts, people who live and breathe this stuff, voice their discontent. Take Wessam Samir, a well-known voice in the crypto space. He didn't mince words on X. He said, and I quote, "There was no news about a Pi coin exchange listing." Think about that for a second. We're talking about a cryptocurrency that has millions of users, supposedly building towards a global peer-to-peer economy, and yet, there's still no clear path to it being freely tradable on major exchanges. You can mine it on your phone, but what's the point if you can't truly use it or exchange it for other assets? This isn't just about price speculation, it's about fundamental liquidity and utility. And it didn't stop there. Samir also highlighted no updates on speeding up the second migration. This is huge for many of you out there. You've been diligently tapping away for years, accumulating Pi, and maybe even past your initial KYC, but your tokens are still stuck in limbo, awaiting that elusive second migration to the mainnet. What good are these new apps and staking features if a significant portion of the community can't even fully access their own mined coins? It's kind of like building a beautiful new highway, but half the cars are still stuck in the parking lot. And then, the perennial thorn in Pi Network's side, no solution to ongoing KYC problems. This is something I hear about constantly from my viewers. People have been waiting for months, sometimes even years, for their KYC verification to go through. Without KYC, you can't migrate your Pi, you can't truly participate in the ecosystem. It's a roadblock that has, honestly, crippled the morale of countless pioneers. So the core team releases these new app studios and staking mechanisms, but honestly, for a lot of people, the most basic entry point to their own assets is still, well, a complete brick wall. Samir summed it up perfectly. He described the updates as, quote, AI-powered apps and ecosystem features that don't address the real issues. It's kinda like renovating a house with new paint and smart gadgets when, the foundation is crumbling and the plumbing is broken, and the frustration boiled over. Another community member going by Kang Inpo didn't hold back, calling Pi Network a clown project. A clown project. That's how deep the disappointment runs. These aren't just minor gripes, these are cries of anguish from a community that has invested time, effort, and hope into this project. They feel overlooked, their concerns dismissed in favor of flashy yet seemingly superficial updates. Think about it. We've been told about enclosed Mainnet and, the eventual open Mainnet. We've been promised a global currency, real-world utility, and an accessible blockchain. But when the biggest day of the year rolls around and the core team unveils what they consider big news, it largely sidesteps the fundamental questions. When can we freely trade our Pi? When can all of us get our coins to the Mainnet? And honestly, when will the KYC nightmare end for everyone? The lack of concrete answers, the continued focus on internal ecosystem development without addressing these critical external hurdles, is what's truly fueling this widespread disappointment. It creates a chasm between the core team's vision and the community's urgent needs, and this chasm, it's only getting wider. So what's the takeaway from this Pi2Day pioneers? The Pi core team is clearly committed to growing the Pi Network ecosystem. They're pouring resources into new tools like the Pi App Studio and ecosystem directory staking. And yes, from a technical perspective, building an AI-powered no-code platform is innovative, and incentivizing app development could lead to a richer ecosystem down the line. The problem isn't necessarily the features themselves, the problem is the priority. While they're building out these new functionalities, a massive portion of the community is still stuck on the sidelines, unable to fully participate because of fundamental issues like KYC and mainnet migration delays. And the biggest question of all, the one that truly unlocks the value for many an exchange listing, remains a mystery. This isn't just about a coin price, folks. It's about trust. It's about the feeling of being heard. When a project builds a massive community on the promise of an accessible, decentralized future, but then consistently fails to deliver on the most basic requirements for that future to materialize for its existing users, frustration is, well, kind of inevitable. Whether these new features, the AI App Studio, the staking, will truly attract more users, or more importantly, solve the deep-seated complaints of the current pioneers, remains to be seen. Will a developer truly want to build on a platform if their potential user base is locked behind insurmountable KYC barriers? Will staking truly boost app quality if the underlying token lacks widespread liquidity? These are critical questions that, unfortunately, Pi2Day 2025 left unanswered. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. Cryptocurrency markets are highly volatile and inherently risky. Do your own thorough research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. The information presented here reflects my personal analysis and opinions and should not be taken as financial advice.